We had no idea what we were doing at first.
Nope. Amazing.
No idea.
We created a really bad logo, a Wix website, which is dreadful.
From Swoop, it's Take the Plunge, a podcast about how business owners decided to stop what they were doing and took the plunge to start their own business. We take a look at how they came to that decision and what those first crucial steps were in getting their business up and running. My name is Kieran Burke, and I'm going to be your host for this episode. Today, we're joined by Sam Patterson and Monica Gartner, who are both serial entrepreneurs, have several businesses under their belts together, alone and together. One company that they own together is Infinite Management, which is an award-winning social media management company, which we're very excited to hear all about today. First of all, guys, thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show. And how are you both doing?
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for having us on the show. We're really excited to be here.
Brilliant. So let's start at the beginning. What were you doing before starting up Infinite? And why did you decide to start up Infinite?
So myself, I got out of high school at 18. 18, got out of high school. I got a job in a car dealership. I just hated it from the get-go. It's just, it was crap pay. I had a prick of a boss. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on here.
Swear away.
I had a twat of a boss. And and yeah, I hated it. So I lasted 11 months in a kind of day-to-day job kind of thing. And then I just thought, screw it. I want to go off on my own and do that. So I as I was in my first job, I was building up my first company and my modeling portfolio. So after 11 months, I thought, screw this. So I went off and I tried to be a full-time model, which didn't really work out. I mean,
it did work out. You just stopped doing it.
Yeah, it's speculative to, on modeling is so speculative and you can get paid really well 1 month and then you don't earn anything for 3 months after that. Mm-hmm. So I just thought, I'm never going to buy a house on this and stuff like that because I can't prove consistent income. Then I actually got into network marketing. So like multi-level marketing, a lot of people call it like pyramid scheme, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Started working with a company called Monovi, which have actually merged with another company called Jeunesse now. And I became the highest under 21 earner in Europe or something like that. It built up straight away. I guess I'm just an outgoing guy. So
yep.
It taught me a lot about sales and marketing and stuff like that. I got to meet with the owners of the company and the general manager for Europe and all that kind of stuff. And I went on their podcast and I was in their magazine, all that kind of stuff. So I was selling energy drinks. I was really into adrenaline sports and I was like skateboarding, mountain boarding a lot and stuff. So I was just selling it to my friends and family and, kind of recruiting people to do the same basically. So it just kind of came naturally to me. So I built up a downline of like 300 people or something below me that are all selling the energy drinks and stuff like that. And then the company merged with another company called Jeunesse, which is what it's called now. And they started selling like beauty products and skincare and stuff. And I thought, I wash my skin with water. Like I've got no clue about this stuff. So I pulled out and I was continuing with the whole modeling thing and stuff. And I just thought I need something more long term. I didn't want to kind of get a job. I had really low expenses. So I knew I could kind of go out on the line and really kind of just like throw myself out there because I was living at home, I had a cheap car, all that kind of stuff. So I thought, it's now or never. I can go for this or I can't. So that's when Monica and I decided to start up Infinite Management, which was our first kind of company together.
Yeah, mine was a little bit different. I went to college for a semester. And then when I was there, I was like, why am I here? Like, I wasn't allowed to I wanted to take. I was actually going for criminal justice, which is obviously the complete opposite of what I'm doing now. But when I was there, I was like, I feel like I don't need to go to college for what I want to do. And while I was in college, I got offered this like social media thing to go on like a tour where it's a bunch of social media influencers and stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go down that route because it's what I'm passionate about. So that's what I did. And then when we met, I was like, you know what? I need to do something online because like we're in a long distance relationship. So we travel back and forth. So we're like, we need something that, we can do on our phone.
And
that's where it started.
Yeah, we actually started Infinite Management kind of accidentally.
Yeah.
I had like a few followers on Instagram and stuff. And I was trying to do one of these juice cleansers, which are like an absolute it's like £6 for a little tiny bottle of juice. The company a couple of miles down the road from me that sold it in like crates of like 30. So it was like, it was like £180 for like this crate of juice. And I was just a kid at the time. I was like, I don't want to pay for that. So I reached out on Instagram. I was like, hey, is there any chance you can like send me a crate and I'll put it all over my Instagram stuff? This was like 5 years ago or so. And the guy was like, "Oh yeah, but by the way, how have you got like 5,000 followers? However many I had at the time." He was like, "How have you got 5,000 followers on Instagram?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I like follow people and I like their photos and like I post on YouTube and stuff like that." "Oh, is there any chance you can like replicate that on my account?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." I'd never heard of a social media manager at this point. So I was like, "Sure, like pay me however much it was a month, a few $100 a month, and I'll do it for you." So that was our first kind of social media client without even really realizing.
So you guys probably didn't go through the natural step of like, let's come together, set up a business plan. This is our strategy. We're going to go for these customers.
I remember actually one day we're sitting in the car and you mentioned about how you did that juice thing. And I was like, what's a social media manager? And then you're like, oh, you do what we're doing already, but for other companies. So I'm like, all right, so like, why don't we actually like work together and, you know, do something with this? And that's how it started from there.
That's how it was born, just kind of like accidentally from there. We just kind of stumbled across it. So from that point, we then thought, okay, let's think of a name, put a business plan together, all that kind of stuff, and really kind of make something of this. So we had no idea what we were doing at first.
Nope. Amazing.
Idea.
We created a really bad logo, a Wix website, which was dreadful. And we basically made a list of like 200 companies in the area. We were in New York at Monica's house at the time. And we made a list of like 200 companies in the area, and we literally just went knocking on doors, and we got rejected by pretty much every single one, apart from one, I think. I think we got one client from it, and then we used that as a case study, a testimonial, and we slowly just built it from there.
Nice. And in terms of like those first couple of customers, was it all very organic and you're starting to build up the business naturally, or did you look to take on funding at any point?
No, we've never taken on funding. We own 50% of the business each. So 100% between us, and we've done it. We've done it all organically, all naturally.
And how have you managed to kind of as you start, I suppose, professionalize a bit, you're gathering customers, you're like, okay, we're kind of onto something here. This seems to be working. How do you start kind of picking up those business things in terms of running the accounts, starting to get a business bank account? What was that process like?
I think with the clients, it was like trial and error, to be completely honest. It wasn't like we knew what we were doing from the start. We both knew how to grow social media. That's like the only thing we knew at the time.
Yeah.
So we just started doing that, and we're like, okay, this is working. This is not working. Customers don't like when we do this, like that kind of stuff.
So. And we read every book, watched every YouTube video, took every course, everything. We just thought, let's just become experts in this and see what we can do. But we never went to university for marketing or anything like that. We just kind of, it was based on our own experience from growing our own social media accounts, and then just, like Monica said, trial and error combined with just reading and ingesting every single piece of advice and information possible.
And did you guys start to specialize in certain sectors, or was it kind of learn as you go? What did you do there?
So for the first kind of 3 years of the company up until last year, we focused purely on organic social media management. So that's not doing any paid ads whatsoever. It's just growing accounts completely naturally through engaging with the target market and all that kind of stuff. Once we really felt we became kind of experts in that field and we were really getting recognized for the organic social media management side, we then started offering a full service kind of package, full scale package, which offered both ads. We brought on a social ad specialist, a guy called Amit, and he's got awesome experience. He's worked with a bunch of top 500 companies in America and stuff, like really, really good, qualified, experienced guy. So he came on, started working with us to manage our paid ads accounts, and then we were able to offer a full scale package.
At what point was that where you were like, I think we need another person to help scale this and bring people in?
I think only last year we started, talking about it, because we were getting all these clients coming to us, and it was an unspoken thing where Sam's like, I'll do the financials, I'll take care of, signing the clients up, and then I was doing all the management. So it got a lot because I had all these clients by myself. So I'm like constantly on my phone all day long. So I was like, I can't handle it anymore, and I was like kind of losing my passion for the actual like growing of the accounts. So that's when we were like, we need to find somebody else to help us. So now we brought on the few people, and
we realized it wasn't scalable when it was just the two of us, and we were just working crazy. We were working 18-hour days, 7 days a week, and it was getting really crazy. So we thought we were reluctant to delegate the workload because we knew we'd take a hit on the income straight away. But we realized after a while we just have to do that. Yeah. So we brought on our first person pretty much full time about a year and a half ago or so, wasn't it? And now we're a team of like 6, I think.
And how have you felt your roles have changed as you've brought more people into the business?
Honestly, like it feels like I don't know like what happened, but I enjoy what I'm doing now so much more. So I kind of taken a step back and I'm doing now we kind of like switch where I'm doing the signing up of the clients and like other people are doing what I stopped enjoying doing. So I love it now. I feel like we have a lot of weight lift off our shoulders. I was very hesitant to like get
Mm-hmm.
on our team because I was like, this is our baby. Like I don't know if I could trust these people. Like it took a long time for me to like be open to the idea, but
it was
now
really
that I am,
just
I'm
kind
very
of
happy.
yeah, it was like you said before, it was just kind of trial and error with a few things. Like the first lady, Elizabeth, that we brought on, she's actually changed positions now as the business has grown. So right now, basically, I'm kind of I'm doing like the marketing, the financials, managing the website, kind of keeping the day-to-day business running. Monica's like signing up the clients and kind of managing our employees.
Yeah.
And then Elizabeth is basically answering to Monica, and Elizabeth is basically the account manager who is looking over kind of the day-to-day managers who, she's kind of approving content plans, saying like they're doing a good job, like all that kind of stuff. And then
Making sure everything's flowing.
any issues that arise to Elizabeth, and then Elizabeth passes them up to Monica if she needs to. So it's a really streamlined process now, and it's scalable at the end of the day, which is the most important part.
Awesome. I can imagine with the line of business you're in that there's like a million balls going at any given time. You have so much content, so many different clients.
Yeah.
Are there a couple of tools that are like, these are my godsend? This allows me to keep things running and motoring and tracking. And if so, what are they?
PayPal. We use PayPal subscriptions to bill our clients. They charge high fees. We pay almost a 5% fee on each payment, but it's so easy and simple.
And everyone trusts PayPal.
I think the time saving,
yeah,
versus using Stripe. I think Stripe's like a 2.9% payment or something, 9% fee or something. I'd rather pay a slightly higher fee for PayPal just because it bills clients automatically. Everyone trusts it. It's so simple to use. Because we've used it for so long, we've got contact with PayPal that we can call with any issues and stuff like that. And they're always on our side for any issues and stuff like that. So yeah, PayPal is absolutely invaluable for us. We've kind of got our accountants to kind of sign into our QuickBooks and work with that. That's our accountancy software, and that's amazing. And another thing that we use that is absolutely invaluable is TransferWise, the banking system. So we hold both. We can hold euros, US dollars, pounds, yen, whatever we want in local bank accounts. So like, for example, Elizabeth is based in the UK, based in Bournemouth in the UK. So I can pay her in pounds from our UK account, but our UK account is tied into our USD account. So I can pay Monica, for example, in USD.
Nice. And I suppose that probably gives you flexibility should you wish to start expanding into other markets, finding customers in multiple markets. Has that given you that?
Yeah, and it process direct debits in multiple currencies as well with like the lowest fees possible. So that's been absolutely amazing for us. Yeah.
And in terms of kind of growing the business, how do you split your time between kind of existing businesses and how do you decide, okay, we've got room to take on more, or are you just like hungry hippos and you're like, feed us more, feed us more?
So at the moment, we're in kind of scale mode. We want to scale it as big as possible because we finally got structure in place to be able to do so. I'm actually looking at taking on another social media manager at the moment. So I'm out looking for like the perfect candidate right now for the next kind of level of expansion. So right now, Monica, I think you're managing about 5 accounts or so, maybe.
Yeah, and then
so she's still managing like the first clients that signed up like 4 years ago or so. We didn't want to kind of hand them off to another social media manager.
I have like very personal relationships with them.
So the accounts you really enjoy working with, she still works with. But right now, I'm not managing any of the accounts. I'm not involved in kind of a day-to-day social media management at all. I'm just focusing on scaling the business.
And talk me through kind of the winning and the losing of the pitching. Is that like a pretty adrenaline-inducing moment when you get that email to say, "Hey guys, we'd love to work with you"?
Yeah, I get so excited.
Yeah, but we always used to celebrate too early, and then
that was our problem.
20% of clients that say they're going to sign up don't actually sign up.
I feel like
you spend a month chasing them up, and then finally we had that yesterday. Actually, we got on like 3 or 4 calls with someone. We spent like 4 hours with a potential company going over everything, send them a link to sign up, the agreement, all that kind of stuff. Chase them up like 6 times, and they finally came back saying, "Oh, I think we've decided to keep it in house." It's like, okay, thank you.
I feel like now that
same
picky with who we say yes to, I feel like we're at that like point where we could be picky, because in the beginning, like what you were saying with the hungry hippos, like someone would come over to us and then we would be like, okay, we'll take you. But we've had like a lot of really bad experiences with people where, they didn't pay us or they were just really rude, and we've had just bad encounters with a lot of people. So now we're very picky with who we say yes to.
And we actually found out relatively recently in the last few months, it was pretty much down to the price point. We were offering our services for too cheap, trying to kind of have like a really good offering to people in the marketplace. And we realized that it was just attracting really bad clients because they were thinking, they could only afford to spend X amount per month. And they were thinking, they were the kind of client that this was their whole marketing budget and it completely relied on them. So it completely relied on us, I mean. So, they were at us every single day trying to have calls every single day and stuff. And for the price point they were on, it just wasn't scalable. It wasn't feasible.
That's a really interesting point you raise, particularly for young companies in a service-based industry. How do you evolve a pricing strategy and how do you find what is the right price to do? Is it pure experimentation? And as you grow, you change and you learn?
I mean, we were looking a lot of the time. We're looking at what competitors are doing in the market, and we always try to undercut competitors. For example, right now, our entry level package is $500, whereas like one of our main competitors, who have been going a bit longer than us, but I mean, we've got the experience behind us and the awards behind us and stuff to prove that we can do just as good of a job, if not a better job. We're undercutting them. We're literally like about half their price. Yeah, just under half their price.
We've only recently raised the prices because we realized that it was too low and attracting like people who were like just not our kind of target market.
By attracting that type of client as well at a lower price point, we were trying to scale at that kind of price point, and we weren't able to offer our clients a really kind of good quality service because it was just on a kind of a volume basis. Whereas now that we've kind of raised our price point, we're still essentially offering the same service to people, but actually we're offering a much better service. Even though the same things are included, we're offering a much better service because we dedicate a lot more resources to them. So for example, now, say like the latest client we signed up, we used to spend maybe half an hour on their account per day, whereas now we can afford to spend an hour and a half on their account per day. And really, kind of, even though we're offering the same thing, we're able to kind of really offer a much better service for that price point.
Interested to know, with your line of work, how important is building up a network in terms of outsourcing? Imagine with you guys, you're advising a lot on content and creating a lot of content. So is it crucial that you have a strong network when it comes to outsourcing certain things?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we like I said, we're not involved. Well, Monica is with kind of old like favorite clients, but we're not really involved with the day-to-day management of new accounts. I mean, we look over content plans and we kind of verify and approve everything. But the actual kind of like engagement, growing the accounts, posting the content, stuff like that is down to outsourcers now. So it's really, really invaluable to have a solid team behind us that we've trained up absolutely impeccably. We're talking to them every week, or account managers talking to them pretty much every day.
Yeah.
And everything's running really, really streamlined, and every cog's turning, and we know exactly what's going on at all times.
We talked about, I suppose, like a lot, and it's only been a short amount of time since you've launched it, and a lot's changed, and it started very organically. But I suppose looking back on it now, are there things that you've learned that you could have done differently, or were there a couple of lessons you've probably taken along the way?
Yeah, definitely. I think the first thing is we were reluctant to increase our marketing spend at the start because we wanted to survive on the income. Whereas as the business evolved, we realized marketing is everything. Like we've really got to invest heavily in marketing if we want the business to succeed. So we had to realize that we had to take a hit on the income short term to kind of build the business long term. And I think I wish I realized that earlier, because I think the business would be in a much different place right now.
But I suppose it's pretty nerve wracking. I'd imagine you're young founders. It's your baby. It's everything. It's like a bit like being on roulette wheel in a way, and going.
We were sort of like putting all this money in and then being like, we didn't get anything.
Yeah, we were giving the excuse to ourselves that we were just testing a bunch of different marketing methods until we found the perfect return on investment and all that kind of stuff. But I think it kind of turned out that we just kind of have to jump in blinds every now and then and trust it, that trust the process and know that it's gonna work out. And if it doesn't, it's a lesson learned, and we can then move on to the next strategy.
And have certain channels work better for you guys than others?
Yeah, definitely. Social media is where we get the majority of our clients. That's just what we preach.
And I suppose I kind of have to ask this question. How do you manage a relationship and running a business all in one? Is that a challenge? Like, how do you do that?
I think it's because we have our own like things that we do, so it's never like we're never pestering each other to like do a certain thing, because like we have our own stuff to do. And something that like I always say to like other business owners is like, always give yourself time to relax. Like if I'm not in a work mood, then I'll just be like, you know what, I'll do this later. And another thing is we are kind of on different time zones. Sam wakes up really early. I would go to bed at like 3 a.m. So I work at nighttime and he works in the daytime. So we kind of have alone time to like get stuff done. And then like in the middle of the day, that's when we can like have fun. So I feel like we just have our roles and we never have to annoy each other.
We've got odd schedules, haven't we? Like I got all my work done from like 6 a.m. to like, 11 or 12 or so. And then I just kind of check emails throughout the rest of the day, then maybe have a few meetings and stuff like that. But I kind of use that as my time off the rest of the day because I've done all my work in the morning. And then Monica, you wake up at like 10, but you get all your work done from like, like 9 p.m. to like 3 a.m.
Yeah. And I think it helps that like you like to do the stuff that I don't like to do. Like all the financial stuff, I don't know how to do that. So like you take care of that and then I do the stuff that like you don't want to do. So I think it helps.
Definitely. We got very lucky in that.
I suppose one interesting trend that we would love to ask you about is obviously the world went a bit nuts in March. Did it have a big impact on your business? Where you're like, shit, or were you just like, let's take this in our stride?
Especially before we raised our prices, we were attracting like self-employed people more than businesses. So obviously we lost a few clients during the pandemic due to the pandemic. Just when the nature of the business, when you've got a low price point and self-employed clients, for them, it's either they pay their rent or they pay their marketing team. Whereas now that we've raised our price point, we're not finding that as much because now they've got budgets for everything. So, but at the start of the pandemic, especially, we lost a significant amount of business.
You've rallied.
Yeah, you've just got to use it as motivation to build again, to scale. You got to change with the time. But it's partly why we've changed the pricing structure and changed kind of the clients, the target market we're going after. It's because you've got to change it. You've got to evolve with the times.
I suppose then looking into the future now, where are you looking in terms of infinite management? Where do you want to go? What's going to excite you? What are you guys looking at?
So I'm looking at, I think we're really happy with our price point now. We've just finished our new sales funnel, which I literally just finished yesterday on the new website. So we can basically automate the whole kind of this whole sales process until we have a discovery call, at which point a discovery call is lasting on average about 5 minutes and 40 seconds or so. So we're really trying to streamline everything right now. And we're really excited about doing that so that we can basically scale the business as much as possible. And then the kind of motivation for me is once we really scale the business to where we want it, we can use that as a form of passive income and reinvest back into our other passions such as property and stuff like that.
And how have you managed to keep passions alive whilst growing a business? Has that been difficult, or have you managed to maintain that?
Do you mean like personal passions or like passion for the business?
I think personal passions, like things outside of the business. Have you struggled to, because often business can be all consuming and it can be very distracting. It's in the brain all the time. Have you managed to take time out? I know, Monica, you mentioned you tried to make routine for that, but have you successfully managed to do that, I suppose?
Yeah, I
think so.
I think our number one rule with kind of life and business discrepancies is I don't know if that was the right word, but business kind of mishaps or like, whatever the word is I'm looking for is just any issues that arrive, make sure you resolve it before the end of the day. And then that way the tension doesn't kind of build up and you don't kind of start to resent each other and stuff like that. Kind of remain happy. Just whenever one of us has an issue, like, if I'm annoyed at her for not doing something that she said she'd do or something like that, we make sure we resolve it on the spot so that we don't kind of in a month's time when we're having an argument go, oh, you did.
You bank it.
Yeah, and make sure it doesn't affect our personal lives like that.
Amazing. Sam, Monica, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story and infinite management. You're super open and honest about it so far, and it's nuts that you said it started so organically, but now you talk so professionally about it. And in terms of getting your sales pipeline, you've got a team in there, you're smashing on QuickBooks and all in such a small timeline. So like, wish you guys absolutely the world of success with it. And just thanks so much again for coming on and sharing the story with us. Cheers, guys.
Yeah,
it was really fun. Thank you so much.